The Pradhan family gathers after receiving Neil's urgent message. Wondering what has happened, Neil storms into the house, heading straight to Rituraj's room. Startled, Rituraj stops playing the drums and questions Neil's sudden intrusion. Neil hugs him tightly, reminiscing about how Rituraj used to barge into his and Teju's room the same way. When Rituraj asks if everything is alright, Neil claims he wants to clear their misunderstandings and leads him downstairs, promising a surprise. The family watches in relief, assuming the brothers have reconciled and Neil has finally accepted the truth about Teju. But the mood shifts as Neil drags 2 chairs into the center of the room, forcing Rituraj to sit in one while he takes the other. His tone turns icy as he questions Rituraj's betrayal. How could someone he considered a brother stab him in the back? Rituraj, baffled, denies any wrongdoing. But Neil reminds him of their bond and the secrets they once shared. Suddenly, Neil snaps, attacking Rituraj and accusing him of destroying Teju's reputation. The family tries to intervene, but Neil refuses to back down, vowing to expose Rituraj's lies. He demands answers. Why did Rituraj go to Amaravati? Rituraj claims it was for a concert, but when Neil presses him about meeting Teju, he spins a false story, saying Teju begged him to accept her after Neil abandoned her. Enraged, Neil beats him again as the family protests. Jita confronts Rituraj about lying to Savi regarding his trip. Rituraj defends himself, saying he was protecting the family's honor, then challenges Neil. Would he even be able to handle the truth? Instead of answering, Neil plays a damning audio recording from Teju's phone. The clip reveals Rituraj admitting he framed Nandini, manipulated the situation, and even threatened Teju, saying if she wasn't his, she wouldn't be anyone's. Nandini breaks down in guilt, realizing she wronged Teju. Rituraj desperately denies the recording, calling it fake, but Neil attacks him once more. Fed up, Rituraj finally snaps, stopping Neil and confessing everything is true. But he shifts blame onto Neil, accusing him of always being the favored son despite Rituraj's talents. Savi watches in shock as years of resentment pour out. Jita lunges at Rituraj, but Neil stops him, admitting his own fault for doubting Teju. As Rituraj tries to leave, Neil grabs him one last time, demanding the real reason he went to Amaravati, leaving the question hanging, unresolved. As Rituraj attempts to leave, Neil blocks his path, demanding answers about his visit to Amaravati and whether he was present when Teju was murdered. Rituraj denies being at the crime scene, claiming he hadn't met Teju since college. Jitu accuses him of lying and insists he tell the truth. Savi arrives, declaring she won't leave without answers. Bhushan confronts Savi, reminding her she was warned not to come. Savi stands firm, stating she's there to uncover the truth about her husband's death. Neil points out that she's suspended, but Savi emotionally pleads for understanding. Savi directly asks Rituraj if he killed Teju. He denies it, insisting he's innocent. Savi presents a plectrum found at the crime scene with his fingerprints. Rituraj admits it's his but claims he doesn't know how it ended up there. When Savi asks for his phone, he hands it over, under pressure. Rituraj finally confesses he went to Amaravati to meet Teju and asked her to return to his life, but she refused. He swears he didn't harm her and claims he was home with Bhushan that night, showing proof of calling a doctor and collecting medication. Bhushan confirms his story. Savi adds that the phone's location data also verifies he was at home. Rituraj asks if they now believe his innocence. Vinod slaps Rituraj, accusing him of disgracing Teju and betraying their trust, despite Rituraj's proven innocence in the murder. Neil is heartbroken. Savi tells Neil the phone might hold important clues and takes it. For further investigation, Rituraj, now ousted from the house, vows revenge on Neil. Nandini begs Neil for forgiveness, lamenting that Teju never got a chance to be heard. Amruta and Jitu agree they failed Teju. Neil, filled with regret, says Teju was unfortunate to have married him. Leena continues to blame Teju, citing her presence with Rajat at an isolated location. Neil defends Teju, saying she hid her past to preserve family peace. When Lena questions Teju's character, Neil accuses her of doubting him as well, declaring he can't stay where his wife is insulted. He decides to leave with the Shiv Parvati idol. The family tries to stop him, but Lena collapses. Neil and the others rush to her aid. Meanwhile, Savi returns home, burdened by Nitin's suspicions about Rajat. She contemplates how to solve the double murder case. Hearing a crash, she finds Bhagyashree fallen and in pain, despite refusing help. Tara and Riddhi assist her. Bhagyashree is distressed and misses Rajat. Back at the Pradhan home, Neil tends to an emotional Lena, who begs him not to leave. He agrees to stay, bringing a moment of relief to the family.